Coming up last weekend, we were due Alexandr Romanov and Tanner Boser. Tanner Boser steps out of that fight in on 4 days' notice, has recently released 3-fight losing streak, the Vanilla Gorilla, Chase Sherman, who talked to a big-time site, bjpen.com, and the fact that, listen, he wanted to be released so he could pick up more fights, fight more often, gain a little bit of coin, and then maybe earn his way back into the UFC for yet another stint. And the UFC went hotline bling, called him, said, Chase, we need you. He accepted, makes double his pay. And then on the fight night during the prelims, the broadcast says last weekend that, listen, minor ailment, Chase Sherman can't make it. Then on the main card, they say, oh, by the way, this fight's been rebooked to next weekend, the Rob Font Chito Vera card. So ultimately, we will get Alexandr Romanov, Chase Sherman. And if you did watch the original video that we had for this fight, Alexandr Romanov did not look like the man that you can see at our left. At all. Because Romanov was a 265 heavyweight with some flash and flare, like long hair swinging middle finger in the air, like Kid Rock. Like, Romanov is one of those guys, like sumo background, wild style, throws guys around in the cage. He's got wild striking, poor striking defense, and questionable cardio. And then all of a sudden lately, through the winter, into the spring, we've seen a complete, not just body transformation out of Romanov, but like a, hey, I'm in the UFC, bang, bang, I better bring up my grappling up to snuff, even more so. And that's a scary, scary thing for ranked heavyweights at this point. Crazy that, like, he's still fighting on the fringes and the periphery of the top 15, because I can't wait till he fights a guy like a Shamil Abdurakhimov or a Sergey Pavlovich. I know those guys too just fought, or Augusto Sakai, before people really, really recognize Romanov and he gets a number next to his name. But, listen, like, fit, in shape, winning grappling tournament Romanov is very scary.
And not that he was out of shape before, but I use the example of, like, a Nikola Jokic in NBA. Like, he was an all-star, then he got into really good shape and became an MVP. Romanov was already pretty good when he was big. Now he's in incredible shape. Like, he's not going to be worse than he was before. I can almost guarantee you that. And I heavily favored him when I thought he was weighing 260 against Chase Sherman. Now I think he's going to have better cardio and he's more dedicated to the sport. I don't think those things hurt you in a matchup against Chase Sherman, who, like you said, asked for his own release from the UFC to pursue possible other fights or do bare knuckle, that type of stuff. So for Romanov, I think he's all about this life, and I really think this is one of the worst matchups in the whole UFC for Chase Sherman.
So for Chase Sherman, it's weird because Sherman has good leg kicks. I mean, we saw that in the Ike Villanueva fight. If you're going to beat Villanueva, Tyson Pedro used that game plan as well. And then seated him with a straight shot. That was kind of good from Pedro. Not kind of good. That was good. It was fun to see for Pedro. Unfortunate for Villanueva. But in that fight that Chase Sherman had against Villanueva, looked really good due to those two respects. Nice boxing, crisp combinations, good leg kicks, takedown defense. Lost to Arlovski because he kind of started to fall off as the fight went on. Then he takes on one tricky guy in Parker Porter, loses the decision there. Porter looked very good in that fight. And then 3 months ago, lost to one half of this weekend's co-main event, who was also one half of that co-main event, Jake Collier, by first-round submission. First-round submission to Jake Collier. So the deck is stacked against poor Chase Sherman. Romanov opened last week in a minus 600 favorite, ended up in the minus 2,000 stratosphere. He's still roughly there. Realistically, when we did question mark kicks, I think it was minus 1670 or thereabouts. So Romanov's going to be a giant favorite. We'll have a look at the Topology votes. They're not going to be a surprise to us because they were in and around 90 to 94%. So I'm not going to leave it as a surprise. Cat of the bag. Drum roll. Oh my gosh. 272 total votes, so it's a limited sample size. 99% Romanov, 39% by submission, 52% by knockout. For the 1% that have Sherman, all of them by knockout. Matt, I think Alexandr Romanov wins coming up this weekend, but as we learned last weekend, crazy things happen, and sometimes Mike Jackson beats Dean Barry.
Exactly. MMA's crazy sport, anything can happen, but I heavily favor Romanov in this fight.
So do I, but again, when odds are that baked, just stay away from it, watch it, enjoy it, learn from it, and move forward with your life. Both of us in this fight, in this very, very short video, going with Moldova's Alexandr Romanov to get the win. Matt, we get some big-time fights coming up on this card. Yohan Lainesse making that UFC debut against Gabe Green. In the main event, Rob Font taking on Chito Vera. It's exciting stuff. Keep it locked in with Fight Night Picks, and as we always say,
let's get into it.